Hello, James. Where's James? Hello.
I've never known any different being an amputee, so I don't know life like with two legs. I've always seen James like the same as me. Like, you know, we've always been fighting. We've always, you know, been messing about with each other, and like he does everything that I do, so you don't realise he's got a disability. Like even to now, like people ask me, "Oh, what's it like?" You know, James having prosthetic. Like I don't realise it because like that's all I've known. When people see that I'm amputee, I don't really think they know how to react. Like obviously, it's not something you come across every day. No one really knows what he has to go through. Like not even like, I'm his twin brother. Like I don't really fully understand. You kind of get like varied reactions. Some people don't really know what to say, or you get other people that say, "Oh, that's really cool." I really like it when people do like are interested in it because it makes you feel kind of unique. So this is where I keep my legs. Got a big old nice box of them. So these are just kind of legs that I've had when I've been growing up. A lot of them are more different than the other, so obviously this is a bit worse from where this one doesn't actually have a foot on it. But this is when I wanted to go a bit funky, go for a bit. This I think was about 7 when I had this leg. So as you can see, like the size is really kind of vary. So this is like a lot more recent one. So they're like that's a lot bigger than that one. So I think it was about 15 when I had this, and this was like when I kind of decided to show the metal bit. So this is the type of leg that I didn't kind of want to show. So as you can see, like it's all of it's kind of covered up, like there's no metal showing and everything. So this was kind of around when I was like more self-conscious about it. Yeah, and then kind of this is my youngest leg, I think. Oh no, there you are. This is my most youngest leg. I think I was about 4 years old when I had this one, and it was a lot harder to fit back then, just because like the shape was, as you can see, like the shape differentiates like as I get older. So fitting a leg was like progressively harder just because the shape of my leg does change. Yeah, so I've pretty much got. There's another one. I think I've got about 6, 7 in here.
At 22 weeks, I found out that I had twin-to-twin transfusion. Twin only ever happens with identical twins, and they basically feed from the same placenta, so they share an umbilical cord. They should have 50-50 communication, so they both get nutrients, fluid, oxygen, blood, and they grow equally. Whereas in Tom and James's circumstance, they were 90-10.
I got all of the kind of nutrients. I got everything. So I got all the blood and nutrients and things like that. And I was taking it away from Tom. So Tom barely had any blood and barely had any nutrients. So I was getting too little. So when we were born, James actually came out red because or purple because he had too much blood. I came out grey. His right leg was severely damaged as well because of the blood clots because he did have so much blood. So they actually had to cut open his leg and drain all the blood out. And then obviously amputate his left leg because it was obviously severely damaged as well.
James was born with vascular problems affecting both legs, and it was his left leg that needed amputation of the foot. The right foot and the right lower limb has always had some issues caused by there being insufficient vascular pump, if you like, down to that level. It's actually very, very difficult now to get funding for care outside of the system, outside of the NHS system. So there is a system in place where people who've lost a limb or are born with a limb deficiency will go as standard. There's about 42 centres around the country in major hospitals, and they will get care there, but there are issues on that side. So jumping out of that and coming to a clinic like this is really quite unusual. And I think with James, he managed to get here at the right time.
They definitely ask, what's wrong with you then? And they don't understand, we did go through the same process, although I don't have anything to show for it, like James's leg, I definitely still went through the mental side, like, because growing up being a twin, like we we're sort of used to getting like the same attention, whereas when James used to go for his operations and stuff like that, like I sort of felt a bit like discarded. Like I feel like that's when it sort of became a little like I noticed something was different, and it was that was hard to like sort of come over, but yeah, it's just now it's now it's obviously not so bad because I obviously understand it, but back then it was challenging. We haven't really chatted before about like our situation, what we've gone through. Like it was a bit weird. Like we always just put it back of our head, and we don't really feel like we need to talk about it. But like recently, we've been having like a couple of deep chats, and like it definitely has brought us close together.
Tom has been absolutely amazing. I mean, we're so inseparable sometimes, and knowing that I've got his support is like it means the world to me.
They've always been incredibly close, and I think James has always loved having Tom around, and vice versa, really.
He's always gonna be my best mate, but like, it's a bond you can't explain. Like it is like it's a really just.
I mean, like since when we were going to the gym, Tom has always been like the bigger twin out of us both. Now it's who can lift the most.
Because it's bigger than me now as well.
So it's like that healthy competition, and like if I'm having like a bad day or anything, it just kind of like clears my head. Like if I'm in the gym and it comes to deadlifts, it's the balance that I can't do because of my right leg, just because I only use about, I'd say 40% of my foot, random figure, but I can't get the balance right, and it is very painful when I try and do it. So there are things that do stop me, but I always just try and find that way around it. I mean, I do have my leg how it is now. Like it's not that functional, but it is functional, and I put up with it for 19 years of my life, so I can put up for another 19 years of my life. But now that this operation is available, I really feel like it's a no-brainer to go for. The surgery is called osseointegration. I have to go to Sydney in Australia to have it, just because there are only 3 surgeons in the world that can actually do the operation. One of them is in Germany, and the other one is in Sweden, I think it is. And then obviously the one in Australia, which I'm doing. But the people in Sweden and Germany, they can only do above knee amputees, whereas I'm a below knee, and the risks are a lot more. There's a lot higher risks. So, for example, I could get bone infections, which means I can lose my leg higher up, and the recovery time is 18 months there compared to 3 months in Australia. The surgery involves hollowing out the bone in my leg, so they would drill all the bone marrow out and then hit a metal implant into it, and then they would go about that much into the bone and then come out about that much on my leg, and then I just screw on the prosthetic like that, so it means I won't have any sockets anymore, and because it's through the bone, I'll be able to feel what surface I'm walking on. So if it's carpet, gravel, wood or whatever, I'll be able to feel that. So it's really incredible.
We went down to see Matt, who showed James photos of the surgery, and the thought process was obviously there, and he thought about it more and more, and he decided that it was a good option for him.
How are we doing with the whole osseointegration thing? Where are we at?
I mean, like so far we've reached 37,500. So it's getting closer to like the halfway mark now. So it's like all coming real to me.
Coming real.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to ask a bit more questions, like,
okay,
what's it going to be like the rehab?
So you're basically putting an implant directly into the bone. What we want to try and do is minimise any kind of shock or rotation, torsion forces that are going to go through.
Could there be a chance that I can break the bone?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Munja is quite open and honest about those sorts of things. If you overdo it, or if you don't follow the protocol and the rehab side of things, there is potential to damage or, the insert that's put in. So once they get you up, so once you come out of the hospital, they'll then get you in to physio and the rehab, and they'll start loading you very, very gradually, and they will literally have you standing on a set of bathroom scales.
Okay.
And they'll start you as low as 20 kilos, and then they'll go up by 1 to 2 kilos every day. So as long as you're not experiencing pain or discomfort, when you'll go in every day and you'll literally stand in between a set of parallel bars and put most of your weight through your left side, and then start gradually putting more and more weight through the osteo side on the right hand side.
His life will be transformed. You know, he won't have to worry about changing his sleeve, growing out his leg, neuromas. His leg gets really overheated, so, you know, he's played football before and his leg has come off, and, you know, it's going in the sea. You know, we were in the States last year, and he loves going in the sea, but if the sea's choppy, he can't wear his leg because it could go with the waves.
Having a disability doesn't stop you, and hopefully inspire other people to realise that they can do the same. Since I've opened up the Instagram account, I've got so many messages from people who are amputees or do have a disability, and asking me for advice or saying how inspirational they think I am. So it's such a lovely feeling.
It's lovely to hear, like, knowing that James can turn his leg into such a positive thing, and like then like help others with it. And it's obviously, you know, it's obviously helping other people, because there's you're getting so many people message you, like saying how inspirational you are and asking you for advice, because you're obviously dealing with it so well.
There was a quote and it's like, don't inspire people with your perfections, inspire them with your imperfections. I think that captures it so well.
Definitely.
I really want to get across the fact that having a positive attitude is the most important thing. Because if my attitude was negative throughout my entire life, I would not be where I am today.
You know, someone with one leg can, like, you know, do what, you know, bodybuilders on Instagram do as well. So, you know.
Put everything live on. I made my Just Giving page and put everything out on Facebook and Instagram on Easter Sunday of 2017. And to this date, in November, we have raised £38,000. Knowing that we still have over 45,000 to go is like, it's incredible. But I just like to think that I'm going to get there. I'm just going to keep everything with a positive attitude, and I'm just going to be determined. I'm determined in everything that I do. So hopefully this isn't going to change.
You know, remember when, you know, you first started up your page, and you know, in the first hour you already had like what, £1,500 or something like that, and people were just giving and giving. And it was like people even like who we hadn't like spoken for ages, or like, you know, strangers were like just donating.
So with each donation that comes in, it is exciting knowing that I am getting closer to my goal, but it also realises me like how close I am to. I'm getting closer to the operation, which is quite scary, because obviously no one wants to lose their body part, and that it is that kind of, there's such a good side to it, and there's also that hard side to it. I do find that really challenging, but like I said, I just got to keep a positive head and just keep going forward. I'm not gonna be able to feel the ground anymore, that's a really hard thing to kind of come to terms with. If the operation goes successful, then I won't need any more surgeries anymore, and that's a point. I can finally say a point in my life. I've had 19 years of non-stop surgeries, and hopefully this will be the last one. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for it. It's fantastic.